You could carry on talking, yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Um, so where would you like me to begin now?
Well, how old were you, and how what happened really?
Oh, I was around 11 years old, and I was recently finished primary school around July time, and we came on our summer holidays. From July, she was having pain around her neck, and it wasn't noticed as much then. But she was getting rashes and stuff, and she did go to the doctor. The doctor said, no, 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 it's nothing wrong. It's fine. It's just a normal rash. Use some cream. So she was using the cream for a couple of months. They kept on giving her the same cream again whenever she used to go, and antibiotics and stuff. So they gave her that, and then I started high school, and she dropped me to my first day at Chorney High School for Girls at school, and then she just came back, had just do you know, like a normal life, what you do, dropping, picking up kids, and going to school and all that, and it was just normal. And then around October time, one night she started to um, scream in pain, and I remember I was standing next to a doorway and saw her, because I got up and saw her. I said, what happened? Then walked into her room, asked her what happened. She was saying, oh, I can see my soul, and this, and she was going on. She goes, I can see my soul. And then my dad came running upstairs, because he heard that she was shouting, and he came upstairs and called the ambulance, and he had to lie a bit to the ambulance, saying, oh, she's having a heart attack, because do you know, if you just tell them, oh, she's crying in pain, they won't end up coming. So then the ambulance came. She was still going on saying, oh, that she can see her soul, and this and everything. And the ambulance came. They rushed upstairs, and they saw her, and they said, we have to take her to the hospital. So they tried to make her walk down the staircase, but because her legs were so weak, she kept on saying, oh, bring a stretcher, put me in a stretcher or a wheelchair or something. But the ambulance said no. They said, you have to walk. We want to see how you walk. So they took her, they held her and walked her down the staircase and stuff. And then on the way, they said, she said to my grandma, who was on a wheelchair, she goes, oh, I'm leaving all these children to you, and you look after them, all of them. And
how many siblings did you have?
siblings, three brothers, one sister.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And can I ask you, what year was this? So I can sort of get it in context a little bit.
Yeah, it was in year 2010.
Okay. And where are you in the brothers sisters? Are you the oldest, or?
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Yeah.
Oh, so you were all very young.
Yeah.
So you were 11. So how old was the youngest child?
He was 4.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So your grandma.
She was.
Probably looked on. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. She had some. I'm not sure what you call that type of medical situation. She had something wrong with her bones and her legs, so she couldn't move it. So she was always on a wheelchair or bedlised, and nurses used to come over.
Oh gosh.
But before the nurses, which used to come over, my mother used to look after her, so we never had any nurses. My mother's the one who was look after my grandmother. Yeah. So when she was going to the ambulance, my mother said to her, "Listen, you're look after all of these children, and they used her. She goes, "Don't worry." My grandma was just sitting there crying, saying, "Why are they taking you?" and asking all those questions. She goes, "I'm going, I'm going," and she kept on saying, "I could see my soul" and all that. And then they took her in the ambulance, and then a few days later they found out that she had at the L&D hospital they found out that she had lymphoma cancer, and they said she was on stage 2 or something. And but then they said they were going to transfer her to UCL hospital. They transferred her there in mid-October. It was mid-October 2010, and they transferred her there. And when they went there, they said, "Oh, she wasn't even on stage 2. When she reached there, she was on stage 3, going into stage 4." And because it was so severe, the cancer, they did do 3-4 blood transfusion, they call it, I think. And that failed. Then she had a kidney problem, and also when I saw her reports, it also said that they, I think they changed some sort of blood, the cells or something. But that failed also, and then she had liver problem, lung problems, and then around her urine as well. She had this urine problem also. So a lot was going on, and the doctors couldn't handle anything as much because of how severe the cancer was. And then my dad, what he done, he because the England's doctors in UCL, they didn't know how to control the situation, because apparently they were new to this type of stage 4. Because they said, when I had an interview with one of the doctors recently about this topic, they said at that time it was really rare because a lot of people survived from it. And they said how her cancer was, it was so severe. It started from the neck, having a lump all the way spread into her whole body. And so my dad did contact one of his specialists in friend doctor who's a specialist in this type of things in America. He was studying, so he told my dad the natural ways you can do it, treatments and stuff, but those didn't even work as well. And but those just failed. So whatever treatment they tried to do, it kept on failing. And then after that, it was around December time. She passed away, and she was, I think, in 2 days before, she was in ICU. How do you say it? Is it?
Intensive care unit.
Yeah, intensive care unit. She was there 2 days before she passed away. And then she passed away around the 15th of December with the lymphoma cancer, they said.
Oh. So that was only, a couple of months later? That was the same year, was it?
Yeah, it was within the same year.
Oh gosh, that was so rapid.
Yeah, it was really fast, and it's really I couldn't believe it. Like, what I'm doing is I got all the reports, and I've been looking at the reports, and it was just from July it started, and the doctors were saying, no, 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 it's nothing, it's just a normal rash. She kept on having a rash on her neck, and she used to sweat also at night. She told the doctors all of this. It says on her report log. And the doctor said it's just normal, don't worry. And then mid-October she started to scream that night, and then after that they later found out, then in December she passed away. So it's about 6 months, I think, I would say.
Gosh, that's
it
really,
was fast.
Really sad and very difficult for you all.
Yeah.
Being such a young family.
Yeah.
And how did your grandma cope? And presumably she had your dad there to support her also.
Yeah, I personally would say that my grandmother stepped up. After my mother passing away, she's the one who stepped up, and she done literally everything. Even she was limited with what she can do because of her health reasons. But she was really good. She was really good, and she helped us with everything, cooking, cleaning. She showed us literally everything. I remember we used to after school when we come back. We had to cook food for the next day. We used to just take her in the kitchen on her wheelchair one day before, and cook the meals and stuff. She used to tell us. She used to tell us literally everything, how to cook, clean, from A to Z.
So she was giving you all instructions as the children. So
Yeah.
gosh, so that made you all very able, I would imagine.
Yeah. But the other situation, what we had to face is when she passed away, my dad decided to take her body back to Pakistan, my mom's body, and because it was snowing during December 2010, it was really bad. I think it was really bad snow. It came up to your knees or something, or ankles. It was, yeah, and they had to cancel the flights 3-4 times. But we only saw her body over here once, her face, and then the body went before us, and they buried her before we even reached there. We reached there after 2 days, so they done my mom's burial before we even reached there. So that was really sad. But the thing was, I think my mom's side of the family, they did make a whole film of the funeral, how the Islamic funeral was. But that was just.
So did you all go over to Pakistan for the,
we
for
did.
the funeral then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone. It was part of our religion. Everyone has to be there. Yeah, not.
And did you still have a lot of family living in Pakistan?
Yeah, it's incredible when I went there. So there's so many great granddads and grandparents there. It's a really big family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you been there since?
Yeah, I recently went in 2017. It was in December time.
Yeah.
We do go there because her graveyard is there, so we have to see it once a year or something like that, to do the prayers.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously now you're, if it was 2010, you're 8 years older, so you're 19 now, are you? Or?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And are you studying at the moment then?
Yeah, I'm in my second year of graphic design. And what I'm doing is I have decided to write a book about life, about me. So I'm just finding myself, and so it's going to educate people about the Pakistani culture side, and also about how I lost my mom and everything. So it's going to be like watercolor illustrations I'm going to do, and write literally everything, whatever I experienced at a young age,
And how, did you have any help to cope with it emotionally, you and your brothers and sisters?
No, my brothers and sisters, they did get help because they were at primary school, and I recently started high school. I think no one actually took as much interest with me because I never had any counselling or any charms or whatever you call it, family care workers. I never had that at all. But my younger siblings, they did, yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
I think it was. It would have been better if I had everything, like chums and everything at that stage. I think it would have been a bit different, but realizing now, I think now it's okay because now I know what I'm doing, what I want to do. Even with what goes with the project also. So I think it's alright to tell my story now. Then I don't know I don't know. I can't tell my feelings.
Yeah. No, and I mean, Because what's your aim? What do you want to do? Do you know what you want to do for a career?
Yeah. The thing is, I actually wanted to. I always even said this when my mom passed away. I always said to my grandma, what I want to do is do a lot of charity work and do in unfortunate countries. Probably build a cancer hospital or something under her name, which will help people, and do a little tribute of um, a charity or open a charity and build a hospital or mosque or something under her name, which will it'll be a good deed, which will go towards her. Um, yeah.
And presumably, you obviously think about how.
With, even with you know, my grandmother passed away after 6 years of my mother. So my grandmother passed away in 2016. So it's just you can see how amazing life is. It just goes around in circles. So first my mom passed away, then now it went to. Do you know, like they say, it's the when a woman becomes a mother, it's her and her child. She has to raise that and then watch her child get married off and see her grandchildren. But in this situation, it seems like my grandmother got married and then it done a little U-turn back to my grandmother to look after her own grandchildren when it's supposed to be the other way around. And then now my grandmother passed away. Now everything's on us, so we're all independent. But the good thing is, I think my grandmother has uh, made all five of us so independent. We know what we want to do. That's a really good thing. But a lot of people, Asian communities, they don't think it's a good thing to be too independent for women. But I personally think it's really good how she uh, coped and raised us.
And are you all still living together, or?
Yeah, that's correct. We are.
Yeah.
Mm. We did have one, two, three family friends around here in our local area. They did help us a lot with food and stuff. They whenever we couldn't cook anything or when we had any problems or something, we did used to go give them the ingredients and stuff, and they used to just take the time out and cook and clean for us sometimes. Yeah.
Oh. And do you feel angry about it, do you think, Sonia?
Angry about what?
About losing your mum. Does that make you feel angry or just sad or?
It does sometimes, because when you see um, when you see other friends, other like your school friends, how they come in and at school or at college or um, at work or something. Whenever I meet my friends, they just come with the moms, holding hands sometimes, and when they're just talking. Oh, my mom did this, and all that. Like they have a little best friend with them, and they tell them everything basically. Yeah. And I won't say it does feel. I do feel sometimes upset. I'm like this. Why has God done this? Like it's supposed to be um, uh, it's supposed to be like a mother should be there. Like even recently, my one of my friend, she recently got married. Like her mom was in there. They done the whole marriage thing and everything. And one of my basically she was there. Basically, her mom was there. She arranged everything. Like her mom's her little best friend. They have that mother and daughter bond as well. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just thinking to myself, bloody hell, just look at life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it sounds like you're building a life for yourself through going to college and your ambitions for the future, and that's a really positive thing.
Yeah.
But you're probably finding it really helpful to look back on this and investigate it a bit. Do you think?
Yeah, it is because I'm really happy that I'm doing this, because I'm really, really happy that my teachers are even allowing me to do this as well. College teachers, they're saying that that's good, you can do it, because because graphics is a huge thing. You can do a lot of stuff within graphics. So they're really happy that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And do you know what type of lymphoma your mum had?
1 second. 1 second. Let me just get the. Yeah, it says here, lower. It was T cell lymphoma.
Yeah, T-cell.
Yeah, and it says lower attraction infection or something. It says it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how do you feel? Are you very close to your brothers and sisters? Has it brought you closer, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about your dad? Is he supportive of you? Or?
Yeah.
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 Brilliant. Well, with your permission, I will write something up based on our conversation and send it to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is, because we're developing more on our site about palliative care, end of life, emotional aspect of coping.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice to include your story there, if that's something you'd be happy for us to do.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm happy.
But why don't I draft it and get it to you by the end of the week, and then you alter it as much as you want so that it reflects your experience.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
so that it seems like you.
Yeah.
And do you have any pictures that you could send? A picture of you or your family or something?
I do have pictures of my mom's graveyard and stuff. What do you mean, a picture of family? Recent picture or the past one?
You might just want to be a picture of you.
Yeah.
Just a recent one, really. Maybe of you with doing some art or something like that. Or,
okay, yeah, okay. I don't mind doing that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Or a piece of your art or something, if you wanted to photograph that or something to go along with it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. I'll do some water illustration of my family's picture or something. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and my mom's graveyard. I'll do something like that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'll send you the original, and I'll send you a watercolor, so you can decide which one you can put in.
Oh, how lovely.
Okay.
And whereabouts do you live, Sonia?
It's in Bedfordshire, Luton.
Right. Yeah. So are you at Luton College, or are you?
Yeah, Dunstable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, it's been lovely to talk with you. I have your email address because we've spoken via email.
Yeah.
And as I say, it will get to you by the end of the week.
Okay, that
Probably
would be
won't be
great.
till about Thursday, though, I suspect.
Okay, that would be great.
Oh, it's lovely to talk to you.
It was
and
nice
is
to
there anything
talk.
else you want to add, or?
No, that's fine. Thank you. I have opened a tribute fund. I think you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did do that as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you for that. That's really kind of you. Okay, lovely to talk with you, Sonia. And we'll be in touch shortly.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely to speak to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.